I'm very grateful to the organizers, to Cluster Gad Caraïbe, to Sandra Casanova for the invitation. Can you still, I hope I'm still online. It is also a very good bridge to continue the presentation after His Royal Majesty, who has spoken about the need to work on new platforms, who address the issue of having creativity and knowledge interconnected, about the need to exchange and learn from each other to do better. And this platform offers, and I would like for the next couple of minutes to introduce you to its world. I'm just putting just a second my timer to keep the time. So why was such a platform created? Back 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, clusters started to be set up in Europe, and it soon became clear that while they knew about the activities of the other clusters within national boundaries, it was very difficult to connect and to know who is out there beyond national borders and to interact and exchange with them. So there was this need of learning about the others, a need to show their activities and to make themselves visible in an international context, and particularly a need to exchange to develop collaboration. So that's why the platform was set up with this purpose, and it is now let's say, the European Hub for Cluster Collaboration, set up by the European Commission, DG Growth, and funded by EASME. And it aims to bring together the clusters in Europe and also beyond with the purpose to support their collaboration in order to improve the performance and increase the competitiveness of their members. Because ultimately, the clusters bring together companies, research institutes, public actors in order to create innovation. And particularly over the last years, this innovation goes very much along the international value chains. So the platform runs already for 3 years, and it was a very big honor for us to be showcased at the World Trade Organization in 2017 as one of the 2 best practices selected by the European Commission to show the support for internationalization of SMEs. Now, what exactly are the services of the ECCP? First of all, we are gathering, as of today, 1,015 clusters, which is an achievement that's unique in the world. And also, very important, these clusters are about 90% from Europe and 10% from outside Europe. So it is indeed a European cluster collaboration platform, but addressing also the clusters beyond Europe, because value chains cannot be just kept in Europe, they are global. And we need to strengthen such cooperation with clusters from beyond Europe in order to make this happen. So these profiles, they're validated, they're checked. It's not just a consultancy saying we're a cluster organization, but they're really organizations working at the service of companies to support their competitiveness. Being profiled on the ECCP means as well that you have the possibility of find partners, but also be found as a partner. Many clusters do not have, let's say, the resources to do large PR campaigns for themselves at an international level, and that's why they really need a space where they can introduce their activities, their members, also their needs for cooperation. So this mapping is about connecting clusters in Europe and beyond, and we are welcoming all clusters in the world and from all sectors. Saying this, it's not just the supply chain, the logistics sector, but it's also food, about ICT, about plastics, about a large variety of sectors and technology fields. Now, since I said it's the European Hub for Cluster Collaboration, that also means that we are a very strong information hub. This is the place where the clusters and also their members or policymakers can come and find information about what is happening in the cluster world. We have more than 12,000 monthly visitors, and in 3 years we managed to publish more than 2,500 news related to clusters, more than 1,200 events. What is so important about these numbers, and I'm not giving you these numbers for memorizing, but to show you the magnitude of the role and the position ECCP has reached in the meantime, what it is important is the fact that more than 60% of this content comes from users. That is, cluster organizations who have a profile on the platform have the possibility to upload on this profile news, events, documents, studies, partner searches, whatever they would like to share with an international community. And this gives a large visibility, and it makes the platform be a platform created by clusters for clusters. It's the clusters platform. We have sections dedicated to achievements, testimonials, and how to support collaboration. It's not just enabling people to find each other, but it's also about giving them the right, let's say, motivation to collaborate with each other, that is in terms of calls for proposals. Where we have a special service searching for relevant cluster calls for proposals funded by the European Commission mostly, and these are in various programs, be it in LIFE program, in the COSME program, in Horizon 2020, in Interact. There's a large variety of possibilities for clusters to find calls, and once they identify a call that's suitable for them, they can go and search for partners via the platform. This is why we created a partner search tool, which can be understood as well as a marketplace. That is, you can publish here your needs and also your offers. For example, if your companies would like to introduce on a global level an offer for a certain technology, that is the place where this can be done. We are also home of the European Strategic Cluster Partnerships, which is again a strongly supported initiative of the European Commission, aiming to bring together clusters from various countries, various regions of Europe, to collaborate together, either for going international, that means addressing together with a joint strategy markets outside Europe, or for smart specialization, where these consortia should prepare collaboration for investments in Europe for innovation, addressing innovation. So these projects are also profiled, and there is a whole world of these projects. Currently, there are 49 European Strategic Cluster Partnerships for going international, and 9 such partnerships for smart specialization. Speaking of projects, we're also hosting, besides this European Strategic Cluster Partnerships, also other projects related to clusters, such as InnoSup projects. They are in Horizon 2020 funded, and they are very important, also related to the topic of the value chain and how clusters can improve and can support their companies to go collaborating along value chains. And also cluster excellence projects and all other types of projects funded by other programs from the European Commission. Why these projects, or how can this knowledge be capitalized upon? This can be done by looking into what themes these projects are addressing. So getting inspiration from such projects, looking at the partner that compose this project, and try to get in touch with them, or if you have a similar idea or you would like to either to learn from them or either to develop something following on as a next step on the development of such projects, this is an open platform, and it should be seen as a source of knowledge and information, and showing or identifying opportunities for collaboration. We're also offering webinars and organize events, bringing together the clusters. And we're also the home for cluster networks. You have to see clusters, they're networks by themselves, but they also need to be networked. And this is the case either sometimes at regional level, where there are regional cluster networks, or at national level, where there are national cluster associations. Particularly at national level, we have captured almost all in Europe, and we are also covering sectoral networks as well as regional and international networks. One other service that we're offering is matchmaking. The platform is, of course, open for everybody, and it is a virtual platform, but collaboration, it can be developed purely virtually, but it helps a lot when you support it with reality. And to live up this reality, we're organizing matchmaking events for cluster organizations, either intra-European, but the focus is very much on outside, beyond Europe, extra-European matchmaking events addressing target markets like United States, Canada, Korea, Taiwan, Brazil, Mexico, and others. There has been a lot of participation and a lot of good feedback we received from these events, and it's always a positive sign when formal collaboration agreements are coming out of such encounters. But these are words that I'm telling you, and I would like now to try, I hope it works out, to show you the platform live, because, you know, a picture says more than 1,000 words, and I will try to do this right now, to share my screen with you. Mm-hmm. Can you please let me know whether you can now see my screen? And here is the platform.
Right now.
Right now, here, sorry. Here we are on the platform. So this is how the entry point of the platform is. I think in this case the internet is not very supportive, but this is the entry point of the platform. You can see here our next matchmaking event is Canada. There is also the largest European cluster conference coming in 2 weeks in Bucharest, bringing together more than 450 participants. You can have here the world of the platform, the cluster organizations, the cluster partnerships, the matchmaking events, a quick selection of the latest news as well, and further tools that we're offering. We have here the section, the interviews and videos and strategic partnership, as well as the latest profiled cluster organizations. So just to show you how it works, if you're going on the cluster organization mapping, this is, so to say, the core of the platform, where you find all these 1,015 cluster organizations. And well, you can see here happily there is a red bubble here, and this is where we actually welcome the Cluster GATT Caraïbes, put up by Sandra, and you can see how the host of today's event is visible with a very professional profile at international level. Now, as I said before, the cluster platform is open for everybody, policymakers, organizations, stakeholders of every type. If you're, for example, interested in international cooperation, there is the possibility to have a look at the world map that that's here, looking at the clusters. And for example, if you take the United States or Canada, just to take, you will see the space where you can discover what is the cluster landscape looking like in the respective country. Now, I think my time is coming to an end, and what I would like to say and emphasize as well is, sorry?
No?
Here
Good.
we have the section Achievements, People About ECCP, our success stories, ECCP interviews with cluster managers. What is important to make a final, let's say, statement, it's important to stay connected. Staying connected means also being to take part in this platform as an individual. You can subscribe to our newsletter and to our weekly digest. It means that all the content that the platform captures from its users within 1 week is being shared with more than 4,000 subscribers to our weekly digest. And it's not that it's a newsletter, it's also a newsletter that it's being read by more than 50% of the subscribers. You can follow us on Twitter or on LinkedIn. You can get in direct contact with us, with myself, or with the whole team at contact@clustercollaboration.eu. And right, my time is over. It's been a great pleasure and a great honor to speak in this high round today. Unfortunately, not in reality, but just virtually. I hope that the connections that could be made in this way can be continued. We are here to support the Caribbean cluster, the African clusters, to stay connected with the world. If there are any questions, if you in the room, I'd be happy to answer.
We are going to see if we have some questions in the room. Est-ce qu'il y a certains parmi vous souhaiteraient poser au moins une question, une ou deux questions, pas plus peut-être, parce que nous sommes pris par le temps? Non? Alors, on dit tout simplement que vous avez quand même ce site internet sur lequel on peut aller. Vous nous avez donné également votre compte Twitter et tout ça. Tout ça, ça peut se retrouver sur le site pour avoir plus d'informations.
Exactement. www.clustercollaboration.eu.
Très bien. Merci beaucoup d'avoir été avec nous, de nous avoir représentés.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. C'est un grand plaisir. Merci.
Un plaisir.